Audio's rolling. Oh, that was a terrible crap.
That's a horrible crap.
That was a terrible crap. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of This Is My Bourbon Podcast. I'm your host, Perry. With me this week, the poopy boy himself. It's Eric.
I didn't have a horrible crap this morning. It was pretty good. You know when you feel like you've lost like a pound? And I was like, success. This is good.
You know, sometimes I'm like, I do that clap. So inside baseball, I clap so that I can sync audio to video and everything. And sometimes I'm like, this could go really well or really terribly. And it seems like more often than not recently, it's gone so poorly that it winds up being the cold open for an episode.
Yeah.
So bingo bango.
You hit the microphone. So, yeah.
It gets to the point where I don't know. I've lost all sense of self and I just throw the microphone to the wall.
And I'm by myself and I'm just like,
yeah, it's good stuff.
I don't know how to do this.
Anyway, thanks for being here. If you're here for the first time and haven't subscribed yet, whether you're on YouTube or on the podcast feed itself, thank you so much for checking it out. And please do subscribe. Leave us a 5-star rating and review on your podcast app of choice. You can do that right in app. We read those reviews out here on the show. I don't know if we have a new review this week. I haven't checked in a bit.
Surprise.
But it's a phone call from somebody. They're like, hey,
they get everything mixed up.
Sucks.
They're like, the barrel ring
show.
segment, but they leave a review in the barrel ring segment.
Stop eating pretzels into the microphone.
Stop eating in the microphone. It makes me uncomfortable.
I'll talk about that in a second.
I pay for that content on another site for people to eat stuff in front of me.
It's called Wiki Food.
Only foods.
That was a bad joke.
Only snacks.
What else? What do I have to talk about? Follow us on social media at My Bourbon Pod, at Whiskey Mutant. Send us questions or comments that you may have for us to read out on the show or just in general to thisismybourbonshop@gmail.com. You can also find all of our apparel and merchandise at bourbonshop.threadless.com. And what the heck else? Barrel rings. That's a thing that we do. That's a segment here. If you want to leave us a voicemail, you can do that at 859-428-8253. Once again, that number is 859-428-8253.
Call it. Be on the podcast.
Part of my job is leaving a voicemail. I tell people what my phone number is. So it's like second nature now for me to be like, once again, that number is 859-428-8253.
If you forgot just a second ago, 859-428-8253.
And it's also on the bottom of the screen here. Wait, I didn't do that great.
It's also scrolling across the whole screen right here.
And it's also up here.
And it's also up here.
And it's behind you. Not you.
There.
Crap.
859-428-8253.
I really wish I had gotten like 859 bourbon.
859 bourbon. There has to be somebody already in Lexington.
I know that there is, but
somebody that sucks too. I bet they don't even sell good bourbon.
People,
they're just horrible.
Just a real piece of trash.
Like people even see that and they're like, I can't believe these guys got that number. It has to be. I can think of about 4 places right now. I'm not going to say them out loud that probably have that.
I want to see. So 859.
Just call it.
No.
Do it. I dare you.
RBON.
Is it even enough? It is.
268-7266. Don't call this number.
Or do. Tell us what they say.
But I wonder if it is.
Just call it. See what happens. We'll just hang up. Just say wrong number. Oh, it's a fax machine. Leave a fax. Dial in a fax.
That's such a bummer that it's a fax number.
Well,
how do we co-opt that so that we can have that number?
I don't know. I think we can figure it out, though.
Yeah, sure. Anyway,
send the facts.
Support the show on Patreon too. Patreon.com/MyBourbonPodcast.
Let's send the facts to that number, asking them if we can have this number. They get just the facts. It's like, can we have this number?
That's all it says too.
Yeah.
It's just an 8.5 by 11 in like 12-point font that just says, "Can we please have this number?"
Yeah.
No context. No.
Or we could leave our number and leave the Barrel Rings number, and they could call it and see what they say.
Oh man, that's good stuff. Anyway, support the show on Patreon. Patreon.com/MyBourbonPodcast for as little as $1 a month. For as little as $5 a month, you get bonus content. But this week, you actually have the chance to hear everything that we do on Patreon normally in the main podcast feed as well as on the YouTube channel. It's just going to be kind of like a compilation video that includes all the stuff that we do on a weekly basis. So if you want to go check that out, and it's literally our typical
I'm rethinking things that I said right now.
You didn't say anything bad.
We'll see next week.
You may want to call your lawyer, though.
Damn it.
Start looking for another job.
I hate when people are like, call your lawyer. Like, I don't have a lawyer. Does anybody just have a lawyer?
Yeah.
That's a legitimate question.
Yeah.
People do?
Yeah.
Just normal people.
Yeah, we do.
You have a lawyer
The Ritter family has a lawyer.
I'm from freaking Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah.
Like, living in the holler. My lawyer is probably my uncle that I don't even know.
Probably. It was your dad. That's why he left.
Oh.
That's the meanest thing I've ever said.
He had a big case and he never came home. I thought it was because of the cigarettes and the Budweiser. So he's a legitimate lawyer. Never seen any of that money.
Yeah, right.
Lawyer money. But probably must not got any cases because he didn't send me no money.
Must not. But it also... tickets are on sale for this My Bourbon Weekend 2023. That also means that tickets for the live show with Peggy No Stevens are on sale. Pairing with Peggy.
Pairing with
Peggy.
Peggy.
Be a fun time.
AKA battling Peggy.
Battling it out.
Yeah.
Punching a lady in the face. That's what Eric's told me he's going to do. He's not going to do that.
I'm not denying it. I'm just playing. It's a joke. It's a joke.
You're just like, it just apropos of nothing. It's completely quiet. You stand up and just stare her down, and he just
blocks
left hook her.
One hand.
She would too, dude.
And I'm like, oh, it's on now.
Dragon Ball Z style. Yeah. This isn't even my final form.
Freaks out. He's like, I can't believe this is
can't do this. Yeah. This is your show
now. No, but seriously, like, live show, Lexington, Kentucky. We've got discount hotel rooms, whether you want to come in and buy a VIP ticket, whether you want to just come in for that night. If you buy just a live show ticket, send us a message. We got a link that we gave to all the VIP people for a discount. Mm-hmm. We will gladly give you that discount as long as there's rooms left. It's going to be fun. Man. You can plan your weekend around it. Hit us up. Tell us you're coming. Whatever, but like seriously, show up for the live show at least. It's gonna be fun. It's your opportunity to meet the people who are always in chats and that we always talk about. There's gonna be enough time passing, like everybody knows who they are, but even some of you might not, because you might be new here. Because I was just on Matt Madness and I lost, and I brought shame and dishonor to my family. I didn't even make it to the main thing. I lost. Didn't avenge my homie. But you know, that's what we do. Yeah, we'll talk more about Matt Madness in a minute. But yeah, like. There's going to be a pre-show, like doors open early. You can hang out and eat and drink with people. Everybody kind of hung out last time afterwards before everybody left. If you do get in on the VIP that's left, there is going to be a VIP lounge where after the show you can go back and I don't know what the snack is he just pulled out. But yeah. Just keep going. Yeah. The VIP lounge is going to be open to anybody all weekend. So after the show, you want to have more drinks with people, go to VIP lounge, get in on it. But even if you don't buy a live show ticket, it's only $30. You're going to get a drink on us. There's going to be a cash bar. There's going to be food. Maybe something else if we can come up with it. And then, I mean, you don't know. You
I
never
know, but it
what-
just sounded like, you know how we work.
Well,
You know how we operate. We might have something for you,
it's
you
worth
idiots.
the price of admission just for the show. But yeah, get in on it. Perry's got the link in the description. It's going to be posted pretty much everywhere soon. We're going to start posting it on Instagram and all that. So
yeah,
be ready.
Yeah. I'm switching it up a little bit this week.
You lied to me.
I didn't.
You said you're doing Flying Blind.
I am.
Those are snacks.
Yes.
We usually do sips and snacks.
Yeah.
Anna, are you doing a double right now?
No, you're figuring out what to pair with these. All right.
What are these?
So I bought a couple of cookies on Amazon. The first one, it's a British cookie. And the reason that I'll talk about this show more in Tips and Bits, but we were watching a show on Netflix
the
called
name of them are cracking me up.
Jammy Dodgers?
Jammy Dodgers.
Yeah, it's very British.
Jammy.
Yeah.
Jammy Dodgers.
It's very British.
Jammy Dodgers.
And they were eating these cookies, Jammy Dodgers. And so it's basically just like those really generic cookies.
Raspberry.
No.
It says raspberry.
Oh, yes, but that's not what I mean. I mean, it's like two shortbread cookies with some raspberry. I was going to hand you this one.
Oh, I thought that was yours.
No.
Well, now we both have one.
All right, there we go. And Lucy was like, if we're going to keep watching the show, we gotta get
like
some.
that. This.
I was like, okay, I got them on Amazon, and they were here on Tuesday.
Damn.
And then I also got
Malomar?
Malomars, my favorite cookie of all time, which is going to be, I think, a little bit more up your alley and will probably be
This is your
easy.
favorite cookie of all time?
Pretty much.
Where are these from?
The Northeast.
Okay. How
They're
did these
American.
become your favorite? How did you first
It's a
find
long
it?
story.
Oh, okay.
But it's not too long where I can't tell it on a podcast. So when I was in college, my roommate showed me this. It was this sketch that they used to do on Conan, where one of his writers had like a segment where he would just complain about things.
Yeah.
And one of the things that he complained about was that Malomars aren't available year round. And at that point, I don't know if it's changed since then, but the reason is because they're encased in chocolate.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep, they are.
And the thinking was that
Dark chocolate.
they would melt
Yeah.
in warmer temperatures. So I was like, I've got to try Malomars. I've got to find them. I had one of my dad's cousins who lives up in New England sent me a box because I couldn't find them anywhere in Kentucky.
That's crazy.
And so I just kind of fell in love with them.
Either?
Say again?
Amazon didn't have them either?
No, Amazon did. That's where I got these from. This was a specific box.
Gotcha.
But
I
the
thought you meant
first
that box.
no. The first box that I got came from Boston.
Damn. Right from the source.
Yeah. But it's like a graham cracker cookie.
Okay. Chocolate marshmallow.
A marshmallow
it's a
puff
s'more.
and then covered in chocolate. Yeah,
It's a s'more.
essentially.
Yeah.
Essentially. But that's I wanted to see
Okay.
if we could put you to the test. This is our Matt Madness. That was a mean thing to say. That's not true. This is more up our alley.
This
I
is
think
mutant
is
madness.
probably a
This is
little more
mutant madness.
accurate. I wanted to see what you would pair with these.
Okay.
You have never had either of these cookies before.
No.
But
Which one first?
let's go with the Jammy Dodger first because it's
Dodger, I still crack up. I will say, since I'm probably going to ruin this part of it, but after you figure out what you paired, the heart is indented just enough to where that is a perfect little spot for a pour over.
oh,
Yeah.
hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. So,
Well, it's a good thing there's more.
yeah, but I'm going to take a big old bite and see what happens. This caught me off guard because I didn't realize the raspberry filling was going to be as like chewy.
Yeah.
So I thought it was going to be like
It's raspberry jam.
It's jam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
This is got to be the perfect snack to make a peanut butter and jelly. I need the most nutty Knob Creek that you have right now, or a Beam product, I guess. I need something nutty. Okay, here we go.
Knob Creek single barrel that I just got yesterday.
2020.
Yeah,
nice. Okay,
it was at a liquor barn.
Yeah, and I'm doing this one a little simple because I mean this is a breaded cookie with a jam and everything, but it doesn't always have to be like the craziest pairings ever. Like I just think that this is going to be good. I instantly was like, this needs like something nutty, like a Knob Creek.
Yeah, this is the part of pairing that I like the most, where you're kind of creating a new thing.
Yeah, this is where you make a peanut butter and jelly out of what you got. Ooh, that smells good. All right, first we'll do a sip and then a bite. Oh, that's a good Knob Creek pick.
It's got a funk to it.
Oh, yeah. That's money. Nothing overpowers each other. It really is like a very like mixing together in your mouth, like nothing. There's not too much alcohol. There's not too much jam. That's really good.
No.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, the finish. That's where it's at. I'm going to do a little pour over. Try not to make a mess. Just a little drop. I made a mess.
Immediately makes a mess.
Oh. It's like a peanut butter and jelly, but it turns the cookie into like kind of a wheat, kind of like a spicy rye wheat bread. And it's like a good peanut butter and jam or jelly on like a toasted wheated bread.
Yeah.
Like a good one, like not one of like the lame wheated breads that you like, oh, this is crap. Oh, that's good.
It's a really good little pairing.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Sorry. The cookies themselves, too, are not so like strong and overpowering that they feel like unhealthy.
No, they feel very light.
Yeah. Which I mean, that's one of the reasons I like them so much.
Yeah.
But
okay. So
now here,
I'm a little nervous about this one. Only because you said this is your favorite cookie. And it gets a little tricky when you pair dark chocolate to me.
Yeah.
Milk chocolate, I think, is a little less, it's not as strong as dark chocolate, so it's a little more giving. Dark chocolate can overpower things very easily. So let's go in here. It's so light.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
But how perfect is that? I mean, it's going to like accept a pour over so nicely.
Oh.
I know, right?
Oh. Okay. There's something I wish
I'm just going to eat a whole one and then have another one for when we pair it, because I haven't had these in a long time, and I freaking missed them.
I don't know if you have this, because I think I only have like one at my house. Do we have any toasted rye products with us right now?
Let me look.
I think a rye, but like the toasted rye.
We have like a Michter's toasted rye, which I don't know if we do or not.
Yeah, if we had like that. Or even like a... I just feel like this needs a little spice to it, and I think a rye is going to work good. And I think the toasted ryes kind of put a little bit more graham cracker and chocolate into things. This is just this is an amplify. Let me try that again. Amplifying pairing. We're going to amplify the snack.
Oh, we do.
Oh, bring it over. Is that the Jack Daniels one? Yes.
Jack Daniels one.
Yes, I want some rye and I want a little graham cracker, and I just want to make this cookie even explode even more in your mouth.
Just for posterity, I brought another bottle over too.
Well, they ain't toasted, but I'll take it. Oh my!
I figured you wouldn't be mad about it.
No. Just clean my glass out. Dude, I could crush.
I can drink some whiskey.
I could crush a pack of these little cookies because
100%.
it would take about 5 of them to make me feel like I've ate like one really good cookie.
I know, right? They're so dangerous. I mean, I'm not a big like cookie guy in general, but I like having something different.
Yeah.
And this is like just different enough because it doesn't really feel like you're eating a s'more.
Well,
you know what I mean?
And it does a good job of not making the marshmallow taste artificial and like.
No, it's like
thick.
a real marshmallow.
Some marshmallow snacks are god awful.
Yeah.
Because the marshmallow is too like sticky and like you can't even chew through it. Jack Daniel's Distillery Series, straight Tennessee rye whiskey finished in high toast oak barrels. 101 proof. Released July 2022.
Freaking love this bottle, man.
Oh, yeah. Instant graham crackers.
Oh, yes.
Spicy graham crackers. Yeah. Graham crackers with extra cinnamon on top of it.
Is it just me or is there like a chili pepper note on the nose too?
It is. It's like it borders cinnamon, like cinnamon hot to chili. It's brown and red. Like when I see the colors that I taste this, it's brown and red. It goes from graham crackers to chili. That's really good.
Oh, it's such a good whiskey.
All right.
Spoilers for an upcoming episode.
Sip and snack.
We are getting sent the Jack Daniel's 12 year that's coming out and the newest batch of the 10 year. So look forward to that review.
Oh, yeah.
Before too long.
Oh, yeah. All that cinnamon or that chili or whatever you want to call it mixed with all the sweetness of this is absolutely perfect. This is Oh, wow.
It turns it into like peanut butter marshmallow. That's one of the best pairings we've done on the show.
That's amazing.
I don't even want to try the Michter's with it now.
I mean, we'll have it later for something. It's that like spice, that.
Holy moly!
I don't know if it's the toasted part of it or if it's just like the mash bill. It's that spice mixed with all the sweet of that snack that just is 11 out of 10. 11 out of 10 pairing.
Dude, that's incredible.
And it kind of like lingers in your mouth too, and you can like drink again and like you get those same flavors in there. Oh, wow.
Man. What a killer pairing. Hey. They don't call him the mutant for nothing.
You got the snacks. They don't call you the pear bear for nothing. See? Full circle, baby.
I just showed everybody the food in my mouth. I'm sorry.
This ain't just the pairings aren't just me. We got the pear bear.
Now, to be fair, pear is always supposed to be spelled, in this case, P-E-R-R.
Yeah.
Bear.
Yeah.
But I like that we're now like a superhero team.
Whiskey Mutant and the Pear Bear.
I'll be your sidekick. I don't care.
Pear Bear and the Whiskey Mutant. depends on who's writing the comic. Is the main writer that writes Whiskey Mutant writing it, or is the main writer who's writing Pear Bear writing it?
I have been. I finally got back into comics this past week. I've been catching up on Batman and Spider-Man.
I need to do that.
My two favorites, but I'm going to talk about it in tips and bits.
Yeah.
There is a run on the Batman comics that is happening still right now. I think that was upstairs. That is the best Batman story since the Court of Owls.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Do you want to know?
I'm good. I had like 3.
Yeah. You snuck one when I wasn't looking?
Yeah.
That's why I love you.
Yeah. I grabbed one to do again, and I actually grabbed 2 at the same time.
Oh, I opened it from the wrong side.
That's all right.
Oh, well.
Hey,
It even says open other end.
do you just demolish cereal boxes when you open them? I'm the worst at open. I will open it, and one side will be glued down, and it will be just a half open, and then it just doesn't work.
It's more important to me and my wife, actually, that the bag is securely
because then you can roll it up and like
yeah exactly. But the box, I don't care. It's just a vehicle for the bag to live in.
A cave.
It is the cave. It's the cereal cave.
The cereal cave.
Cereal Man and Milk Boy.
There we go. Milk Boy. That's a thing. Milk Boy, what's your powers?
I squirt milk.
Okay.
I
have at least 3 places. No, I'm just...
Do we need to ask where from? It's where you think it's from.
There's more than you know.
You know how many holes the human body has? At least 7, and milk comes out of all of them.
And when Cereal Man activates his side of things, it gets really crazy.
We're part of a well-balanced breakfast. Start your day off right with Cereal Man and Milk Boy.
Or end your night the same way as well. Start your day or end your night. Cereal Man and Milk Boy.
That's one of the dumbest things I've ever done.
That's the second time we've done something dumb.
Yeah, it's true. Anyway, what have you been drinking recently?
What have I been drinking?
Not much, right?
No. If I sound more alive, maybe I don't. In my head, I do.
I think you sound about the same.
Probably.
You're still operating at what, like 60%?
I feel in my head that I've got more rest. I switched shifts, so I've kind of had to switch my land of the living. But
I can't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. What if you clap? You just dedicated the bit and you just clap the whole time.
I'm a, they have like seat fillers for the Oscar.
Yeah.
Oscar.
You're just that guy. Oscar the Grouch.
My brain's broken, dude. I'm the clap filler. No, I'm not. Never mind.
You're doing it today.
I'm killing it.
All the claps. Clap filler.
Can we release this episode?
I don't know. We may have to change everything we said and say next week is the episode where everybody gets the uncut stuff. No, but so I've not had much to drink this week. I did go watch UK play basketball, in which they lost, and I really think that
What a shocker.
We were doing good. We were on a 4-game winning streak and finally made it to the top 25 again, and then we blew it against Vandy, which the last UK game I went to, and I took my son, we were playing football, and we were doing good, and we lost to Vandy then. So I need to try to watch UK
it's your
play.
Fault.
I need to try to watch them play Vandy in baseball and go to that and see if I really am at fault. But unfortunately, college sports, especially in Kentucky, I think some of them are changing the rules, but they don't serve alcohol at college sports.
Stupid.
And I had my kid, so I didn't do the old sneaky and put something in there. So I didn't have anything then. But I have had some good old fashions. I had one last night, got off work, If you listen to the other stuff, I use some Pinhook. It's been really good in my old fashioned, very orangey. What else? Did I have anything else? I think Sunday night I had some new riff. It was one of the picks I did with Wrestling with Whiskey because we are planning our next pick for Wrestling with Whiskey. So I was we want to do something completely different than what we have done. It's Wrestling with Whiskey Mania 5. So we're trying to do like a Star Wars thing that's like Whiskey Mania Strikes Back. And I was like, what if we did like just this out of like when we picked it, we like, what's the darkest like evil sample in this bit? Instead of like, this is the best, this is what everybody was like. So we're thinking about that. So I've had a little new riff. I have some old fashions, nothing too exciting. But yeah, that's probably about it, I would say. You had?
I haven't really had anything too terribly of note either. Actually, you know what? That's not true. I went a little crazy with the French oak finishing stuff.
Yeah.
I got another turkey bottle.
I saw that.
We've got the Kentucky Tavern, which we need to
and the Michter's
address. Not the Michter's. And then I don't know where it is, but that benchmark.
You just start putting the little chips
just everything. Yeah.
Like, oh, you got it. Oh, it's got the chips.
Yeah, it's Van Winkle 23. Do you want more oak?
Let's oak it out.
Oak it up, baby.
Yes.
But the other one was the Benchmark Foolproof with the French oak chips. And I got to say, Rick,
how dark that is.
Right?
It's black as my soul.
In doing all of this, it has made me realize I freaking love the French oak note. I mean, it's so good, dude. Don't drink that before we drink the Kentucky Tavern.
I forgot there's a segment to this.
Yeah. So part of what are we calling this?
Did we have a thing?
We said something a couple weeks ago. Finish
me, daddy.
No, it's not that. I knew that's what you were going to say, but it wasn't that. It was like chip off the old block or something.
Oh
yeah. Chip me, daddy.
Chip me, daddy. Ah, that's better.
I had a swig of the Kentucky Tavern last night out of curiosity, and I want you to take a drink of that. I'll have one with you too, because this is a team effort.
Jeez, look at in the camera. There's a black as oil.
Yeah. Yeah. I put the fun stopper back on.
I love that there's a fun stopper on this size of a bottle.
A little plastic bottle. Because I didn't want any of the oak chips to come out with it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And that way, too, I can pour it into another vessel.
And it's still like, don't even think that the bottle is making it like it's still dark.
Oh, no. It's very dark. So for anybody who doesn't know, a couple weeks ago, we put some French oak chips into a plastic Kentucky Tavern bottle that I've had sitting around for, I don't know, like 3 years. Nothing out of the ordinary. 3 years old, 80 proof. And, we had such success with the Wild Turkey 101 that I figured, why don't we do that with something we don't like?
Yeah.
See if it improves it. We may have gone too far.
Well, it has a little shoe polish note to it. I mean, it's not bad.
Shoe polish and barbecue. Shoe polish and barbecue sauce.
My grandpa had like a legit shoe polishing kit, and like he had made like the container. It was like this wooden like box, and it smells like wood and shoe polish. Oh no, baby. We've made a big mistake. We've made a big mistake.
It's like motor oil and coffee. The finish isn't bad.
So there's this much left. If you're watching or listening, there's
less than half a bottle, but not by much.
I will, if Perry's okay with it,
take it with you, please.
I will sample this out to anybody who sends me a message. No. I will sample this out to anybody when I post This will post on at My Bourbon Pod and at Whiskey Mutant on Instagram.
Yeah. This episode. When
I do the Funko post for this episode, I will send a sample to anyone who comments Chip Me Daddy.
There we go.
Chip Me Daddy under the post.
I'm going to pour a little bit of this out for myself so that I have it for posterity.
Yeah.
But boy, howdy, this is bad.
Yeah, I'll do the same. And I will.
It's so weird.
I will sample it out until like I've ran out, and then like I'm sorry, I apologize if you post that comment, and I've ran out.
Okay.
Ooh, special time.
She kissed me.
Yeah, how many people?
So weird.
How many times do people kiss each other on this podcast?
That's the first time, actually.
See, I said special time.
Yeah, you're right.
See, special.
I'm actually gonna do 2 because
unlock this scope.
I want my dad to try it too.
You're gonna ruin his palate. Papa Ritter be tasting motor oil for days. So yeah, Chip Me Daddy in the Funko post, whether you're looking at it under mine or the at My Bourbon Pod page.
Now, this brings up something interesting that we should talk about, too, which we've never addressed on the podcast before. But there has been this wave of dumb, like, send it to us in a private message and we'll promote it on our page.
Oh, my
comments
God.
On stuff.
The worst.
And we keep getting them from, like, Funko accounts.
Kentucky accounts.
Yeah. And it would be really funny, though, if somehow the Matrix broke for it and one of those accounts commented, Chip Me Daddy.
That's the test.
That's
see
the
if
real
people
test.
are legit,
Exactly.
bots or not.
That would be hysterical. But anyway, things I've been drinking.
Yeah.
Recently. I had a Bourbon County Stout last night.
Nice.
After my stream was over because I hadn't had one in a while. And
which one was it? Just the regular?
Just the regular one.
Yeah.
From 2022. Trying to think. I mean, I've been on a Turkey 101 kick, just kind of in general.
I feel like it's been a slow.
We haven't had a lot of releases recently. We haven't had a lot of things that have been of note that we've needed to, pick up and review or anything.
Yeah.
We've kind of been waiting on stuff to drop in price too before we picked it up to review. And as a matter of fact, that's what we're doing on today's episode review.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. So we are reviewing today Fortuna.
I've been excited to try this.
Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. This is from Rare Character.
Nice.
102 proof, aged at least 6 years.
Oh, my God. 6-year MGP.
Nope, it's Kentucky.
Really?
Yeah. I just said Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
I was paying attention. Sorry.
You're a liar. I don't believe you.
I knew the bottle name.
Yeah.
I was paying attention to that. Ooh, I like this little back label. It looks like a
Dude,
little...
I love the packaging on this. It's a revival brand. It was, around in like the early 1900s or something. I think it was a victim of Prohibition. Rare Character.
Some good medicine back.
Bought the rights to it and basically revived the label.
Look at the back label. I love they made it look like a little like
it's like a scroll. Like parchment paper.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff. So this is actually from the very first batch, and it's just been sitting at Liquor Barn.
Nice.
And it was on sale.
I love it.
America.
The tax stamp on it and everything.
Tax stamp and everything, my man. I hated that.
My man.
Tax
stamp, my man. My dude, my bro. My dude. What's hanging, my dude?
Bruh. So at this liquor store over by us,
yeah,
the guy who is normally working nights and weekends unironically calls everybody bruh.
Bruh.
It's like he lost a bet or something.
Bruh.
Every time I see him, he's like, "What's up, bruh?"
Bruh.
All right, so we don't know where this is technically sourced from. I would be unsurprised if it were, kind of the three big sourcers right now in Kentucky: Bardstown Bourbon Company, Wilderness Trail, or Green River.
You know who doesn't know but would act like they know? Chad might.
I knew you were going to say that. You're a real piece of work, you know that?
You know me too well. Oh, that's peppery.
It's different.
That is straight up a pepper shaker. Like just normal table
Black pepper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. I'm not mad at it. It kind of caught me off guard though.
Yeah. It looks pretty light too for how old it is and for the fact that it's 102 proof.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was like 90 something.
No, 102.
Yep. Well, oh my God, I cannot get over that black pepper. That's cool. Maybe a little paprika. It's very
It's
spicy.
it's very
on the
cabinet
nose.
spice.
Yeah.
But that's where things change. Where it is still spicy, but it gets a little creamy. What are you thinking?
Is that Heaven Hill? It reminds me of Heaven Hill.
You know, it's a good comparison.
Well, yeah.
We're just drinking all the things today.
What did you just...
The Kentucky Tavern.
Oh, boy.
It genuinely almost made me gag. Boy, howdy, that's rough.
Yeah, I didn't pour as much as you did.
And I didn't even pour that much. I'm back.
You're back, baby.
Sorry, we got bad weather out there right now. And
Is
Lucy's...
it bad out there?
No.
That's what I'm saying. What the crap?
No, but we've got a tornado watch in place. I mean, we are
do,
about
but
to get
they
at least
canceled
some
school.
like severe thunderstorms and rain and
Yeah, we'll be all right.
some like bad winds. But
All right.
we're gonna be fine. But out of an abundance of caution, Lucy took Eden and
Her
the dogs
armor.
to
Her Iron Man armor.
yeah. Lucy took Eden and the dogs to her mom's.
To the dog park outside.
Yeah.
She's just like, we're going
In the middle of an open field.
We're going to the dog park.
and she's given every one of them a metal rod to hold. Mother of the year, everybody. My wife.
Oh.
No, she went to her mom's. But we're staying here because we're dedicated to that sweet, sweet content.
And if this is the last time you see us, we love you.
Does this episode make it to air?
We'll see.
Who's to say?
Who's to say?
There's already been a tornado out there, so.
Okay, they don't smell that different. This is still peppery as hell, but there is a muted pepper note on the Heaven Hill.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going in for a taste. It ain't that different.
That's Heaven Hill, dude.
It has to be.
That's 6-year-old Heaven Hill
I'm
juice.
sure somebody's going to actually. But like, if you
And I bet
side by
you their
side-
name starts with C and ends with "Had my daily bourbon."
My daily bourbon. He pulls little samples out of his beard. He's like, actually, I got a sample of the original batch right here that they compared it to with the original batch of the other one. You can say whatever you want, but I know for real what happens. What?
I love you, Chad.
Yeah. It's all right.
Do we need to dedicate a little bit of time so that you can drop an F-bomb or something? Because you haven't said one yet.
Fuck.
There we go. Eric's F-bomb of the week.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to do with that edit, but it's going to be in bad taste.
I hope so. That could be a whole like a little real Eric's F-bomb of the week. No,
Yeah.
I try to control it these days. I got a little wild there for a while.
Yeah.
I mean,
Here's the thing.
serious, all serious, like,
Yeah.
whether it is from Heaven Hill or not, like, these are very similar in taste.
Yes. So let's talk about what this is logistically. If this is a 6-year-old 102 proof Heaven Hill bourbon that was sourced.
Right.
What we compared it to, we used to be able to buy for $12 a bottle.
Right.
The MSRP on this is $84.99.
Okay. What's the MSRP on the new 7-year Heaven Hill bottle?
$40.
Okay.
So now, and you see where I'm getting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But the thing is, it does say aged a minimum of 6 years. So there is the chance that there's older product
stuff
in it.
there, yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. I know. This is too light to have anything older than 6 or 7 years in it.
I mean, if it was, it would be like 5% or something, like a very
Probably, yeah.
a drop.
Just something for like to round out the flavor profile. I'm just gonna say it. $90 is way too much for this bottle. It's way too much for this bottle. It is good bourbon.
Good.
It is super solid bourbon that I have no problem with drinking. I have no problem with sharing it with people. I will not buy another bottle of this.
Not for that price.
This is not a bottle that I feel so committed to that I need to have it on my bar, in my cabinet, on the podcast, something I talk about in what we've been drinking recently.
So what would
time.
your price suggestion be if you're like, I'm going to buy another bottle?
This should be like $40.
I was going to say 40 to $45.
It's got to be like $40 or $50, man.
I agree.
It's which puts this at like over double the price of what I would reasonably pay for this. All that being said, this was on sale for $65.
Getting closer.
So I didn't, and clearly, I mean, I didn't have a price with. I didn't even sit there and look at it on the shelf and go, maybe I could just do. Like, I don't know. I grabbed it.
Yeah,
I grabbed it and I said, "This is coming home with me. We're reviewing this on the podcast." And I mean, I'm going to drink and enjoy it, but at $90, that is a pass all day and twice on Sundays.
Yeah, unfortunately, I agree. Yeah,
but it's still good bourbon.
It's so good. It is good.
That's the paradox.
But it's
that
good.
We've set ourselves up for.
It's good in the sense of like the $30 to $50 range that we like. Like, I mean, you put this beside Rare Breed.
I mean, Rare Breed's going to destroy it.
Yeah, and the prices. I know the prices of Russells and Wild Turkey's going up. You put this beside
Wilderness Trail 8-year bottled and bond.
Oh my God!
Absolutely kills
Trail.
this.
Yeah,
and you're getting 2 more years of age on the Wilderness Trail.
Yeah,
that's actually probably a really good comparison.
Yeah,
because that's essentially the same price.
Elijah Craig Barrel Proof.
ECBP all day.
12 years. And it's the same price, $85 right now.
That's typically what you're kind of finding it for. They still say that MSRP is $65.
True. But like in the real world, you could potentially see this sitting there at retail and an ECBP at retail. And you're getting double the age, double the not double the proof, but like, barrel proof and all that. So I don't know. I don't know why the price is that high. I'm definitely already thinking of my review, and the price is gonna hurt this the most.
Well, this actually is a vehicle as well for us talking about something that we have talked about privately recently. But I think that, yes, I am slipping in a larger conversation into the review. That's just kind of how it goes. Welcome to This Is My Bourbon Podcast. We are out of nowhere. And I mean, I'm sure that, there probably is some precedent for it because we know how the market works. And answer.
Hello, you are on This Is My Bourbon Podcast. We're legitimately recording right now. What are you doing?
What's up, Greeze?
Man, I'm just trying to find some rock and roll music that I even care about, and I'm listening to Sirius Radio. I didn't know if you knew a channel that I needed to go to, Eric.
Bro, Sirius Radio?
Yeah, dude.
I listen to Spotify.
I'm not kidding. I'm being serious.
You download Spotify, and then you just type in the genre that you want, and there's 50 million playlists of stuff. Yeah. It's all seriousness, I stopped paying for satellite radio, and I just go to Spotify and I can look up the band. If you type in your favorite band on there, it'll say Taking Back Sunday playlist, and it will put everybody that sounds and are similar to them in a playlist along with them.
That sounds like too much work.
Yeah, I don't know any.
Greeze, have you just gotten Sirius XM?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, what kind of rock music are you in the mood for?
Like some early 2000s, indie rock.
Channel
69 420.
No.
Sorry.
38, I think, is Alt Nation. They play some early 2000s stuff, but they also play some newer alternative music as well.
They gonna play Juliana Theory and stuff like that?
Now we're talking.
It's probably not that deep.
We're at the top of the world. You and I, we got another time, and it sure feels like you reached in your pocket and pulled out a pass that says you can take me anywhere.
We're gonna get a copyright strike.
Oh, I don't know the rules of this stuff.
35 is.
I need Thursday to randomly come on the radio is what I'm looking for.
Thursday.
You're probably better off with XMU then, which is channel 35.
Heck yes, Perry. Eric, I'm never calling you again.
Why? You literally got the answer you wanted to by calling me.
Yeah, but I was here.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he could call you at a different time and he ask a question about something else, and then I'm not there and he doesn't get the answer.
I'm always going to answer when the Grease calls.
I am too, but I'm just saying the fact that I was here at this time and he called me means he got the answer. If he calls you at a certain time and he's asking about a tattoo or something, you're not going to have the answer for him. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
I can't argue with that.
See? So how is that tattoo going? How's your back piece? How's your back piece going? I know I know you haven't told anybody about it. I'm just asking.
My back
piece? Your tattoo, your whole back piece.
Oh, yeah, I got Bill Cosby's face on my back.
Yeah.
Is Andrew Tate right underneath it, too, or?
Such a good figure in life. I had to submit it. You know what I mean?
But you started that before everything came out about Cosby, and so you just had to finish it, right? Or did you get it after?
So
that's
no,
the.
I got it before, but after all that went down, I got them to put a cigarette in his mouth.
Oh, no.
He just looked like he needed a cigarette.
It's got some like chocolate pudding dripping down into your crack. Good little pudding down in there.
Rudy, lick up the pudding.
Remember when he had that kid show and he used to draw a bunch?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically an image of him drawing a bunch of crap at the top of my crack.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, it's called Cosby Blowout.
That's the next if you're listening to this and you're a part of Oak and Thieves, that's the next barrel pick. Cosby Blowout. We got James working on a sticker as we speak.
Chocolate
right now.
stout finished MGP.
Put you to sleep real fast.
Hazmat. NASA family.
All right, so while I got you on here, tell me about y'all's event coming up.
Oh, the live show?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have Peggy No Stevens join us for
He's advertising for us.
Yeah, for Saturday, where we are going to do a pair off. We're going to talk about pairing, and then we're going to pair stuff.
You're missing the opportunity to call that pairing.
Well, it's pairing with Peggy.
He's right.
And he's like, but yeah, it's parrying with Peggy.
Yeah, and I mean, but the thing is, too, Eric is doing most of the pairing with Peggy.
Perry's just trying to keep everything going before, like, out of chaos. Like, he's just trying to, like, he's going to have to be the moderator.
Greeze, do you remember that time when you and Will just constantly kept telling me to stay in my lane? I'm staying in my lane by moderating.
I like that. Dude, I'm going to be honest with y'all, dude. Peggy knows in my hall pass top 5.
Yeah. Did you say a hall pass?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
Tim Bibb exclusive.
I was going to ask his number 1, but we'll talk about that later.
Lauren, don't listen. Don't listen to this episode.
Peggy's just so sweet, so hot.
That's going to be one of the themes of the pairing. Sweet and hot.
Sweet and hot.
Yeah. But yeah, it's Memorial Day weekend, the weekend before that. Live show all day Saturday, stuff going on. VIP tickets, people come in on Friday and have some pours and tastings and pairings and dinner with us.
And here's the thing too, Grease. There's always room for more people to be there.
I know for a fact April would say, let Grease stay at our house. Like, she would just welcome that. You know, she just... Yeah, y'all.
I mean, guys, it's completely on the table.
So
good. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
I'll let y'all know for sure. What do y'all think about that? Another scandal up in New York with these allocations.
Dude, okay, so I didn't know anything about this until somebody sent me an article. But like, is this the divisional shift that you were talking about?
Dude, it was a wing of it for sure.
Yeah. So the retail side of things, where like the secondary market all of a sudden became like a genuine business. Like, was that something that you kind of foresaw falling apart?
That was the main premise of the divisional shift.
Oh, there we go. So it was just hey, Justin's is going to be the catalyst for things falling apart for everybody.
I didn't know that specific place would be a part of that, but yeah, I mean, Justin's House of Bourbon happened in the case out in Oregon with the government officials, and now this New York case coming out. Like, it's just hitting the fan. A lot of people embraced the secondary market, and it caused some problems, and it made some people do some sketchy stuff on the retail side. So
yeah.
I mean,
well,
I mean, it's definitely a part of what I was talking about.
You know, what's crazy about it though is, like, I mean, yeah, what I think it's proven now, and I can kind of backtrack some of my comments at the very least that I made a few weeks ago. But like you're right, there was some shady stuff going on, but at the same time, Justin's
I know retailers that were taking their allocations and putting them up on secondary to sell.
Jeez.
Yeah. That's where it all started. The divisional shift theory started with me. I was like, this is going in a direction that is very troubling, and that a lot of people are gonna face the consequences of. And it's just hurting the whiskey industry as a whole. I mean, no wonder why we're not seeing our favorite stores get those allocations and and conducting them properly, because a lot of them are seeing the writing on the wall, and they're sitting there like, man, we could either make 100,000 on these bottles or hook up our normal customers, which may or may not, be store bunnies, essential whiskey bunnies, or whatever they're calling them when they just pop in, make their faces known. They're not really spending a ton of money in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
They're just making an impact with the owner and the retailers. They're like, if they see somebody in there that's a long time and there's good conversation, you don't necessarily have to buy anything. So I think these retailers are, and I know for a fact, and I'll mention them firsthand because I had a meeting with the store owner as soon as he canceled. We had a bourbon club with that retailer here in Franklin, Tennessee, and it was one of my favorite bourbon clubs. Like, we got access to all the allocations throughout the year, and then we had a big drawing at the end of the year, and it cost us about $250 to do it.
Right.
Which is the amount of allocations you're getting. I mean, if you get one good one, you're possibly saving money on secondary markets. So it was a really great program. Well, I'm sitting down with him, and he cancels the Bourbon Club, and so I kind of just got a meeting with him because we were going to work with him during Whiskey Weekend. We still are, but that's exactly what he said. He said, "Why am I doing this when all of these people are just showing up for allocations?" Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
And not spending in your store. Why would I not put those out on the shelf? And he was like, I could put Pappy 23 out on the shelf right now and sell it for $4,000. And I was like, yes, you could. Like, I totally agree with that.
Yeah, and however, I mean that's I think that we have kind of set ourselves up for failure in some ways too, because we anticipate that other people are going to have like the same moral standings that we do. Where it's like, oh, store owners are just going to treat their frequent customers the right way, and they're going to charge them fairly.
The bummer is at the heart of that, it's actually not a moral decision. It's like morally, ethically, and legally, they can do that.
Yeah.
We just haven't seen the scope of it in whiskey, until it started to boom during the pandemic and all of that stuff. So.
Yeah. All right, one question before we let you go.
Yeah, dude.
On the flip side of things, and we're in the middle of reviewing Fortuna bourbon from Rare Character 2, which is, a revival brand, but it's 6 years old and like $90 a bottle. I mean, is that also a sign of the end times?
It's not the sign of end times.
There we go. And there's your answer. So
is that a greasy enough answer?
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. Greeze, love you, buddy. It was good talking to you for a little bit.
Love you too, guys.
Love you, brother.
Later, man.
See ya.
Hello, everybody. We're still here. But
I'm still here.
But Eric and I are now finishing this episode remotely.
It's just this whole thing. Like, there's apparently a bad storm going on, and me and Perry do not give a crap about it.
But also, like, I don't see it anywhere.
No, it's just a possibility. So
Does
it's
that, like, I mean, I get it. I want everybody to be safe. I don't want anything to happen to my wife and my child.
No, I don't either.
But it's like,
I'm okay with dying with Perry, though.
yeah, we could have died together, man.
If I died with Perry, I would die happy. I love my family, but if there's
I
somebody
had
else,
to choose,
if there's somebody else I'm going to die with, it would have been Perry. So, but we're still here.
What a way to go!
Who's to say? Like you said earlier, who's to say if this episode even makes it out? We'll see.
It's got to, or else we have nothing for next week.
Yeah, and everybody that survived is going to be mad at us, even if we're dead.
So, kind of pick it back up from where we were, I guess, before Greeze called, which was like an hour ago for us.
Yeah. It's been a while.
This day, man. So we're getting into the review for the Fortuna.
Yep.
And to backtrack a little bit and try to get us actually on track for the conversation, Eric and I have been observing this kind of from a distance for a little while, but we are very aware of it, and I think others might be too, that rare character is quickly becoming the new MGP bottle brand, whatever, that people are losing their minds over. And the thing that kind of really tipped the scales for me, or tipped me in the direction of thinking oh, this is actually happening, was I got invited to be in a Facebook group that was just dedicated to rare character, not necessarily buying or selling, but just celebrating it.
Well, when you sent me that and you kind of showed me some stuff that was going on, it almost felt like when all the new riff picks and everything started blowing up, and everybody was doing new riff picks and stuff like that. There's a whole Facebook group based on just new riff picks, not necessarily new riff as a fan of the brand, but new riff picks. And I think that's the same thing.
Buying, selling, trading, trying.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that rare character is kind of getting that cult following to where.
Oh, it definitely is.
You're getting that MGP, that high proof MGP. There's waxing. There's different color waxes going on. You can kind of put your own picture and stuff on there if you do a pick or whatever. And I don't know. Is it all necessarily good, or is it just one of those things where you just trust the people that picked it because they're going to pick something good, but then there could be just some random, kind of good or lackluster rare characters now.
See, that's my main problem, is that it seems like, and I mean, the other half of that too is that, like what you like. I truly do not give a crap.
No.
It's of no consequence to me. If people want to dedicate their pursuit of bourbon,
their bourbon pursuit,
towards one particular brand, we let that. We allow that to happen and don't say anything about it so often.
I've thought about it before. I've thought about doing that.
Well, sure, I mean, it would take very little for me to drop every other brand and just go to Wild Turkey or Jim Beam, or Heaven Hill. Those three brands I love dearly, and I don't think that anybody I mean, sure, you have flavor profiles that you like, or you have particular bottles that you like more than others, but I don't think that it's such a big deal that people are going to go, you can't do that, or you can't think that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to me, it's less of condemning people for it and more of is this the direction that we're actually moving in? Are we really seeing not a divisional shift, but that's the only thing I can think of now because Greeze.
Because that's been a part of the show, apparently.
Greeze. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But just a shift of focus away from, you know, the MGP of it all, what does Buffalo Trace have today of it all, you know? Like,
yeah. Is it like that, the whole thing where it's like, oh, if my band gets popular, then it's not going to be cool? Because I feel like Rare Character was kind of came out of nowhere. It's like this thing that only a few of us were talking about, and then all of a sudden it just blew up.
Well, you know what's funny about that is I saw, Dave Jennings and his picks.
Mm-hmm.
And God, actually, maybe that was just it. Maybe that's the only thing that I had seen. And then all of a sudden, there's a Facebook group with hundreds of people who are in support of this brand when I've never seen a bottle of Rare Character on a shelf in any store. You know, like it's, I guess my question behind that point is like, where is the hype coming from? You know what I mean? Like, who is the catalyst for it? Who is actually like providing these really good picks?
I think it is another Blue Run style thing. I think it's a very social media, Instagram bottle where they do a good job at providing bottles to influencers, and the bottles look good, so they look good in pictures and stuff like that. I think it's a very good model for the influencer / social media culture. And I think that's where most of it comes from. Like, I don't hear as much from it outside of that. I feel like it's all like social media driven, just like Blue Run was. Like, like they interact. They do whatever they can to interact on social media. They're sending handwritten letters. They're replying to things on posts. They're doing all that, and I see Rare Character doing the same thing. I think it's a very social media influencer brand, driven brand.
Well, right I understand it from that particular perspective, but I also like the other part of it too is that, you know, there's got to be some push behind like the quality of the product, right? And so I mean, if it were bad whiskey, people wouldn't be saying anything about it in the positive light that they are.
Yeah. I think they've got great barrels and they've done great things, and they feel confident enough to push it to the masses like that. Right.
But I think it still begs the question, excuse me. Who are these picks going to? Like, where did this start? What was the beginning of Rare Character even being like a brand that you should pay attention to? You know what I mean? Like, it's less of like,
I know the first one I saw.
Which was
Hotel Covington.
Remember
weird. When? Yeah. Well, that's when it was. It was I'd actually stayed there, and then by following.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'd stayed there for a weekend. Me and April went to. We met up with Ian and his wife, but we were staying at Hotel Covington, which is a very bourbon whiskey themed place. And they were releasing or talking about, or I'd seen it posted, a Rare Character. And I was like, what is Rare Character? Like, it says Rare Character and it's Hotel Covington. And I'm like, what in the world? And then I started noticing bars and places similar to that were getting picks. And it kind of got me like thinking like, oh, okay, well, we'll see what this is about. And then all of a sudden I see Liquor Barn gets one. I see Dave Jennings gets one. And then we've got Chad, My Daily Bourbon, talking about it 24/7. But he starts posting all these stuff. And before I know it, I'm influenced enough to where I have a friend in California who is like, hey, what do you know about this? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like grab me one of them. And this is a Helix liquor from California that I've got. I've not even opened yet because I have other stuff. And it's a 6-year rare character single barrel release.
Is it Kentucky?
It just says straight bourbon whiskey. This is an MGP. It says distilled in Kentucky. I mean, distilled in Indiana, aged in Kentucky.
Gotcha.
So I don't know the exact details on it, but it like spiraled from that. I heard about it because I was staying at this place, and then all of a sudden I see bars and hotels are doing picks. I'm like, oh, this is something. Then I see somebody on Instagram, like Dave Jennings or something, do it, and then all of a sudden, like My Daily Bourbon's posting about it, and then I just see like rare character everywhere all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's like, and then I see Pablo, the guy who does the stuff, like he's like posting and commenting and stuff like that. And I feel like it was all due to social media.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So that's just my personal experience with it. And I think, I would share, I got the Rare Bird pick, and me and you had it together and stuff like that. So, but then, like the one we're reviewing, the Fortuna, like then I see people that, maybe I only hear them talk about stuff in person. Like I don't really see them on social media talking about this bottle. Like,
right.
So did that like cause like kind of a snowball effect to where it led to them being able to do a product that's more widely known? I don't know. I think it's a brand that benefited off social media.
Sure. Yeah. No, I think that if you look at it from a logistic point of view as well, if you are launching a new brand in this era of things, you do have to have a very strong social media presence. I mean, it's almost demanded that you do,
right?
Or else nobody's gonna know about it. Nobody's gonna see it. Nobody's gonna have any kind of like reaction to it. And I mean, like, I'd going back to the pregame chats, you think about something like Hidden Barn.
Yeah.
Like that's a new brand. That was something that just kept building hype and getting momentum because of the social media push of it all.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I totally get that. I don't have, I mean, as far as like that perspective, I don't have like any notes or anything, I totally agree with you.
I mean, if you're listening to this and you're trying to figure out how to do your brand, like I'm not going to say that we have the best advice, but I will say if somebody posts the bottle that you have, if you like and you comment on that on their post, or you send them a message and you give them things to post about, whether it's the best whiskey ever or just kind of average, like people are going to post about it. You just got free advertisement.
Yeah.
You're showing that you're a brand that reaches out to the customer. And you could start, like, I mean, I think that, I don't know the numbers and the logistics of everything, but I think you could build your brand off of social media and then make it into something bigger just by people sharing the stories. They'll screenshot you talking to them. They'll repost everything you do, anything you send them or say to them, they're going to repost, and they're going to build you up as a brand, whether you're just another source product or something that's above average or not. Like, that's just how it is right now. Like, that's the 100% honest truth. Commenting on somebody's post and retweeting them, replying to them, sharing their story is probably the easier than paying for a commercial that may play on somebody's TV or something. That's just how it is. I mean, that's the time we're in right now.
Yeah.
So, and I think this is a brand that's done a good job with that.
Yeah.
So,
well, with that in mind, we can finally get to actually reviewing.
I feel like
the
I've
Fortuna.
been waiting to review this for hours now.
I mean, almost. It
really has.
Literally almost
has.
2 hours since we started drinking this. But so just to kind of, in case, I got lost or people kind of forgot, Fortuna is a 6-year-old 102 proof bourbon, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. It's sourced, of course. Our inclination is that it's probably Heaven Hill product.
It tastes like it.
It
I just
definitely
had
does.
the 7-year, and it still tastes the same profile. So.
Well, there you go. Yeah. And the MSRP is like $85. I keep saying 90 because that's what I've seen it for the most around here. That doesn't mean that it actually is 90. I think
that's what kept us from having it.
Yeah.
Till now. Yeah.
Yeah. And I got it on sale for 85. So, or excuse me, 65.
Yeah.
So those are kind of the down and dirty, the nitty gritty of it all. But we're going to put it through its paces the way that we normally do on the podcast. Nose, palate, finish, and price. Each category is out of 5. Final score out of 20. Eric, what are you thinking about this guy here on the nose?
The nose, to me, is the most unique, like up in your face part of this pour. I give it a 4 because there's this black pepper note that, like, it's not like, to me, it's not like just a hint of pepper. Oh, that kind of smells like pepper. Like, it's like you took the pepper shaker from your grandma's kitchen and you just start smelling it. Like, it's up in your face and it's giving you some pepper, and like, it's here. Like, it's a great nose. Like, I love it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's a very inviting, very different nose. While it may taste like Heaven Hill, I don't really think that it necessarily smells too much like it.
No.
If it is Heaven Hill, for the large part, Rare Character has done a very good job of crafting this into a flavor profile, or like its own kind of identity that may not be exactly what you would get if you picked up, the 7-year bottled and bond from Heaven Hill or Elijah Craig small batch or whatever. I do think that it's its own thing in more ways than one. I didn't quite like the nose as much as you did. Still very inviting, very enjoyable. I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Okay. I'll take that.
On the nose. Yeah. Palate is where it kind of dips a little bit for me. I gave it a 3.
I gave it a 3. I'm going to I'll go ahead and agree with you there. I did the same. I gave it a 3.
It's just, I want more from it. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a little bit thin. I think the spice is definitely there, but I don't know, man. Like, it's missing a backbone that a product of this age and price should have.
Yeah.
Like, it just feels like the puzzle was incomplete.
Well, I feel
when they tried to put it all together.
Well, that's what I said when we tasted it earlier. I was like, I think this is Heaven Hill. And I wasn't like thinking like this is like Elijah Craig 18 or Parker's Heritage. I thought this tasted like a good bottled and bond style type of whiskey that we can get for much cheaper. Like, it goes along with that. Like, it's good, but when you take those factors into price and like, this is a more supposed to be a more crafted thing, a little harder to get, maybe a little bit more pricey, like, it didn't give me that extra note that I was like, oh, this is a 4 or a 5, something like that. So I agree. I'm the same. I'm a 3 on the palate. And
I think even the finish kind of goes a little bit further than that too, in terms of like thinness.
Yeah.
It just evaporates very quickly. I The thing that I am noticing on the finish that I wasn't really getting anywhere else, though, is a nuttiness.
Yeah.
And it's not a Jim Beam nuttiness. It's that Heaven Hill has almost like a hazelnut quality.
Yeah, they don't have the peanut
times.
type stuff, but they have
hazelnut, macadamia, something kind of in that realm, that family. Which I like. I quite like. I think that it introduces something that definitely in no uncertain terms makes me want to go back for another drink, but at the same time, I'm like, I want something with a little bit more substance.
Yeah.
And so straight down the middle, 2.5 for me on the finish.
I'm close. I kept it at a 3 again. I think it's good, but it was good. It wasn't bad. There wasn't enough to make me give it more points than the palate. So yeah, right down the middle, I think. It's not bad. It's not better than the palate, but definitely not better than the nose. So a 3.
Yeah. And the price.
I'm sorry. Like, that's the
dude.
This is definitely the worst part of the whole thing.
It's so dumb that this is a $90 bottle of bourbon for being the first introduction for Rare Character into this market as a batched product. And I know that there are smaller companies, that there are smaller distilleries who are putting out 2, 3, 4-year-old product at or around this price. I get that. But this is so evident of the acknowledgement of hype that distilleries and NDPs have right now.
Yeah.
And it's a cash grab. Like, I'm not even gonna I'm not trying to tiptoe around it. I think that the price on this is obscene. I think it's insane. There is, and it's not that it's bad bourbon. It's good bourbon. Like I said earlier,
it's good.
I want to keep drinking this. This is something that I'm going to share with other people because it is different. It's its own unique thing. But God forbid that we have reasonably priced bourbon anymore.
Yeah, I can't afford to keep drinking this and sharing it.
Like,
that's the thing.
Not.
Yeah, I have to be stingy with this price. Although I want to share it, and I feel like it tastes like something that I should be able to share and kill and go back to the store and get another one. The price just doesn't let me do that.
No,
it doesn't. That's just how it is. Like you said, it's good, but it's not. It can't be shareable because the price is just too much over my budget for shareable bourbon.
And even if it were at the sale price of $65, which is what I bought it for, even if it were there, it still wouldn't be a 5 out of 5 for me. And that's just because I know what the bourbon inside is.
I think the part of me that I'm like, what am I trying to say? So I've got several of the single barrel picks, and they're usually around the same price, maybe a little more, but I expect to pay that for those because it's a selected product, it's a single barrel and all that. This is the thing I expect to be able to go and be like, I'm going to get the batch because I like their profiles, I like what they do. So I'm going to be able to kind of use it for cocktails, use it to do this and that. And it costs just as much as like the single barrel picks.
But I get that. But shouldn't a batched product that is made up of all of these great single barrels from a distillery or from an NDP, shouldn't that batch not be an indicator of how great the ingredients are that go into it?
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like that is where, especially with a company like this that is sourcing their bourbon And I think this even goes to like EJ Curley as well. You know, as much as we love their single barrels, their batch product is supposed to be what brings customers in, to want to return to that company.
Yeah.
Because it shows their craft. It shows the fact that they have the know-how, the wherewithal to take what is in front of them and essentially make something better than their individual parts.
Yeah.
So to me, it lessens the value of this if you do have all of these really, really good single barrels, but when you put them together, it feels like it's just kind of there. Like it was just a product to have on the market.
Yeah. I think
that's my thought process behind it. I know that's probably not the way that most people think about it, or
well,
I know it's,
I mean,
you know,
for me, it's like the batch product makes more product that you can spread out. So to me, as money, I feel like that batch product is going to be a little cheaper because there's more of it. It's more accessible, as opposed to a single barrel portion is limited to like 150 bottles.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. That when I get single barrels versus batch products, in my mind, I'm thinking the single barrel is more limited. I expect to pay more for it. The batch product is more, there's more of it. So I feel like it should be a little easier to get. That's the only thing.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Of price.
Totally agree.
But I feel like this is a little bit farther away from like a single barrel of something that I've had that's really good compared to their batch. Like, it's just when the batch is almost the same price as a single barrel, it kind of gets me a little bit.
This also introduces a conversation that I would like for us to have in the near future on, are single barrels as important or as good as they used to be?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because, well, I don't want to get too much into it because I think that's
a good teaser.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a fun conversation. But
put that one on the calendar.
I'll go. Yeah, I'll talk to. Oh, we forgot to switch the calendar over.
Oh, it's March.
It's already March. We can say goodbye to Parker and the stupid little Shiba Inu that he's holding.
I was bored of Parker anyway. He was not a good firefighter model for me.
Yeah. He's got good traps though.
Well, you got to have the whole package for me. All
that
price.
Good whiskey, not worth the price of admission.
No.
It's a 2 out of 5 for me.
Yeah,
and that's me being generous. There is a big part of me that wants to go 1.5.
I did.
Did you?
I did do 1.5.
Okay.
It made me 11.5 out of 20, all because of the price. I think this tastes like a $20 to $30 bottled and bond screw top that I can easily get. It's so similar to that.
Yeah.
And we love those. Like, that's me usually saying like, hey, this $15 bottle should cost $30. Well, it's the
opposite of that.
The opposite. This is the $80 to $90 bottle that I think should cost $30 to $40.
Yeah.
And if it did, I'd keep a bottle on hand. Like, that's just how it is. It's just, unfortunately, like, I would rather, if I'm going to spend $80 to $100 on a rare character product, I'm probably going to search out a pick by someone I enjoy, or a unique pick that's got a little bit of hype around it or something. I'm going to save my money and get that single barrel as opposed to this batch product.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. Well, my final score was a 12 out of 20.
Yeah, I was 11.5.
Like, I feel better. I feel more strongly in a positive sense about the Four Roses 80 proof that we reviewed last week than I do about this kind of premium product that's on the market. Again, like I don't have a general problem with the quality of the bourbon that's in the bottle. I just want it to be more affordable. I don't want this market to become so oversaturated. And this is nothing new. This is something that people have been talking about for a long time. But I don't want this to be something that is indicative of the way that bourbon is trending right now. I don't want it to be the sign of what did I say with Greeze? That it was a sign of the end times.
Yeah.
End of times.
It's not the sign of the end times.
Yeah, but it's not helping.
No,
that price is not helping it.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with products that are expensive and allocated, and you taste them and you go, "This is special."
Yeah,
I want to be. I understand why this is priced this way or hard to get. Then you turn around and then you drink something that's like, "This is good, and I want to keep drinking it. And this is great in a cocktail. This is great as neat. This is great over rocks." There's nothing wrong with that. It's when those products start leaning towards, like, okay, you're a crafted product, but you need to understand that you're still not in that special category yet. As bad as that sounds, like, I don't know. I feel like stuff's getting priced to where you're not priced in the right category. Like, you make me want to drink you more. You make me want to use you for cocktails mixed with stuff and neat or whatever. But I can't, because I just can't afford. I would rather save my money and get something else, or buy a couple of cheaper products with my budget.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
I don't know.
Sure.
I feel like a lot of products pricing and stuff are blending together now to where stuff is being priced too much or too little, and I don't know. Yeah. It's just a big blob of stuff going on right now.
I feel like that's we kind of eased our way into high proof hot takes.
Yeah.
By talking about that. But I mean, do you have any high proof hot takes this week?
I don't know. I think
you seem to be in a good headspace, so
I am. I think it's just the whole, like, let's not. I probably said this before. Let's not take our whiskey and bourbon so serious that it becomes a negative. Like, just have fun with it. Keep everything fun. I feel like some people are focusing so much on it right now that, like, they don't want to do anything else. Like, I see posts and I see, like, stories and stuff, and I'm like, do you guys have anything else other than whiskey to, like, talk? You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not being.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
And that's fine. If you want to live your life 24/7 whiskey, that's fine. But, like, keep it fun and, like, pair it and share it and do things to where you're like, you know what, maybe I had a pour, but this movie or this show that I watched was probably better. I enjoyed it more than, like, the pour I had or something. Like, you don't have to, like, focus 24/7 on whiskey. And I feel like sometimes the people who do that cause it to be less fun. Yeah. So that's my hot take. If you enjoy whiskey and you're a bourbon enthusiast, that's fine. But there are other things to talk about and to enjoy. So that's my hot take.
I don't have any this week.
Yeah, you're nice. You're a nice boy.
I'm a nice boy. Yeah.
You're a nice
I'm the
boy.
resident nice boy of the podcast.
You're the nice boy.
Tips and bits, though.
Oh, man. I've got
stuff to recommend this week.
Okay. I probably need to hold off. Have you got a chance to watch Mando? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay.
I love that first episode, dude.
No, I did too. I just didn't know if you'd had a chance to watch it yet, because I was like, I didn't know if I should talk about that, or I should talk about the movies, or I should talk about anything else.
What do you mean the movies?
Cocaine Bear.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen Cocaine Bear yet.
I know. I want everybody to watch Cocaine Bear. So, quick Cocaine Bear. It's a horror comedy. It's probably not for everybody, but without spoiling anything, it has the feel of Shaun of the Dead because there's a lot of character work and stuff like that. But then all of a sudden you'll see like a gruesome, like gory scene that you probably didn't expect from this movie. It does that great. It's funny. It's honestly based on a real story.
A true story. Yeah.
A true story. Yes. The bear didn't actually go on a rampage in the real story. Unfortunately, it died. And that bear is stuffed and here in Lexington, Kentucky.
You can see it on screen right now. There's an image of Pablo Escobar.
There he is. But it was based around the whole bluegrass conspiracy thing because there was like this whole like crime syndicate / drug lord thing going on between like Tennessee, Georgia, and Kentucky. And they did all this stuff. And this story is based on this whole thing of this plane full of cocaine that they were trying to smuggle across the Appalachian Mountains. And the guy doing it jumped out of his plane. He landed in the driveway of someone in Knoxville, Tennessee, dead. And then his cocaine got scattered everywhere, and a bear ate a bunch of cocaine. The bear, unfortunately, like I said, died. But this story shows what might have happened if the bear got coked up and just went on a rampage.
It's kind of a what if.
Yeah, it's a what if.
To real life.
And it honestly, like, it spins it in a way like a Tarantino style movie would, where it shows the drug dealers doing stuff. It shows like some random people in the hiking that got involved in it. It shows like another family that got involved in it. And then at the end, that all their stories kind of combined.
Oh, like Magnolia.
Yeah. Yes.
Or
there's like
Love Actually.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 different stories going on, and then they all kind of interact together. Highly recommend Cocaine Bear. It's so funny. It's got gore. It's like 3 different stories in one. And then Bad Batch is still good if you like the animated stuff in Star Wars. And then we have the first episode of the new season of Mando.
Oh, it's so
which
good.
Made me realize how much I had missed
The
Mando.
Oh,
yes.
dude.
It's an adventure story. Like, this first episode is just nothing but fun adventure, and I loved it.
Now here is my one complaint with it. I don't want to spoil any like story points or anything because I mean it's still pretty fresh. And I think, you know, I want to give people time to to watch it and everything. But I think this is a general kind of complaint with some of the Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau Star Wars stories, that they can kind of feel a little fetch questy at times.
Yeah,
like they're it's just constantly going like, oh well, you've reached this location, but you know the mission doesn't stop here. You got to go to the next stop so that you can
like
find this. Exactly. It does feel kind of video gamey, and like, you know, that last scene, I'm going to speak as generally as I can without spoiling anything. But that last scene, I was watching it and I could just imagine myself with, you know, dual controllers, dual sticks, like looking around as Mando was walking down the hall and just kind of like viewing the surroundings. Like it felt very, it did really feel very video gamey to me.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is necessarily a fully bad thing, but within this context, it didn't make a whole lot of sense to me necessarily. But when you really do look at the seasons of The Mandalorian as a whole, they are pretty fetch questy. I mean, it's not something that they are unfamiliar with.
It's a couple of side quest stories, and then you have a main story.
You got a cameo at the end of the second game where the character that you know from the big world all of a sudden, and like, oh, you mean you tell me it's all tied in with this, and holy crap, it's gonna become like there's another comic book or whatever. You know what I mean? Like there's just little parts of it that feel like they were scripted better for a video game or more for a video game.
I agree.
Than anything. But it's still a really great first episode, dude.
Yeah.
I can't remember I don't think this is too much of a spoiler because I think it was in the first trailer. But the the race of characters that Babu Frick is,
oh my god,
they show back up in this episode of The Mandalorian.
I popped so hard when Grogu. There's a part where Grogu thinks one's a little pet or a little toy, and he's just like
he's hugging on it and loving on it. And I was like, that's what it's like having a toddler. It's like you can't just pick anything up that you think is cute or
and there's
whatever.
A big if you've watched Rebels, there's a big tie into Rebels that's kind of you got to know if you've seen it before, but it got me good. It got me good.
It's exciting to say the least.
Yeah, the things are tying in, like they're working everything from every episode and things into it. So
I got a couple things on top of that this week. The first one, which I was not expecting to love as much as I did, but absolutely I recommend just on the highest level, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, the Nicolas Cage movie that came out last year.
That's a great movie.
It's so good. Pedro Pascal's in it. I'm on a big Pedro Pascal kick right now because of The Last of Us. And I guess The Mandalorian too. So this is just a Pedro Pascal.
There you go.
Centric
Pedro
tips
Pascal
and bits
podcast.
What would that podcast be called?
This is
Pedro
my Pedro
Podcal.
This is my Pedro podcast.
I think it'd have to be like Pedro Podcal.
You remember when Lucy made a surprise appearance in the podcast earlier?
Oh yeah.
We've got another surprise guest here. You got to give me a kiss. Okay.
What'd you just get?
She grabs something there. See ya.
She's not even talking to you?
No. No.
Woo! All right. Well, Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent's great.
Love it. Such a good movie.
I am also I finished the initial storyline, and it's kind of branching out into the fallout from it. But Chip Zdarsky, who is one of my favorite comic book writers of all time, is currently in the middle, and I said this earlier in the episode, of writing what I think is the best run on Batman since The Court of Owls, which was the rebooted story after the New 52 started. But the series, the story itself, the initial like 5 or 6 issue run was called Failsafe, and the gist of it is that Batman created a sentient robot.
Oh, I've heard about this.
That could counter him, that would activate if ever he went too far and broke his one rule, which is murder. Like, say what you will about the movie Batman, like they do kill and everything, but comic book Batman, his thing is he does not kill. That's and that has been explored and re-explored throughout his history. But this robot activates because there's a little twist, like okay. But holy crap, it's so good. I was just riveted the entire time.
When a Batman comic is like, but when it's on, It's legitimately some of the best comic books that you could ever read.
Top tier comic book storytelling for sure. So go and read that as well. I've just been reading it on Comixology, which still is a hot, fiery load of garbage on an already on fire dumpster. Like it's the format, the platform is absolutely atrocious. They need to fix that.
Fix it
real bad, please. For
We've complained about it for years.
It's so unfortunately bad. But anyway, that's just the preferred way of reading for me right now, because I don't have the space or time to buy a bunch of physical comic books.
Do you know what my preferred way to listen to this podcast is?
I bet you I know it, but I want you to tell me anyway.
Patreon.com/MyBourbonPodcast. For as little as $1 a month, you can support the show. But at $5, you get all the stuff. You get the uncut episodes. You get Pours from the Floor. You get Sampling Irresistible. You could listen to us train for Matt Madness. That we had fun, but we didn't win.
It went so great.
No, but you can listen to us try. And then all the first updates and chances to get things and all that is on patreon.com. That's the place. That's the place. $5 a month gets you everything. So I'd jump on that. And then if you want to send us a message, you can send a message to thisismybourbonshop@gmail.com. We can do a review for you. We can read something. If you're like Dustin and you don't do anything social media wise, you can send an email to that. Or you can send a question that says, what's your address? I'm going to send a handwritten letter to read out. You could do it there. So do that. You can get some merch and apparel on This Is My Bourbon Shop. Do we have anything new up there? Just the same old stuff right now?
Not at the moment, but we're going to have some new stuff coming real soon.
We're going to have some new stuff. We're going to have probably This Is My Bourbon Weekend 2023 stuff up there. So check in there. Perry's getting his bandana ready right now.
How'd you know?
I saw it. There. If you want to leave a review or rate the show, whatever podcast app you use, if you're on Apple, you can leave a review. We'll read it out, whether it's good or bad. We'll do it. If you're on Spotify, you can leave a rating, 5-star, 1-star, whatever. Just do it. It helps. If you want to follow us on all social media, it's at PRitter1792. If you want to follow Perry, if you want to follow me, it's at Whiskey Mutant. If you want to follow the show as a whole, it's at My Bourbon Pod on all social media. You can go to Facebook. You can join the Facebook group. This is My Bourbon Podcast Facebook group. We post show updates. It's after Patreon. It's your second place to get any exclusives going on there. So join the Facebook group. What else am I missing?
Barrel rings?
Tell. Yeah, barrel rings. That's where you can be on the podcast. Not live, but you leave a voicemail. We'll play your voicemail on air, and then we'll reply to you. And you're on the podcast. You're like the temporary third coast for that little section. 859-428-8253. Call that number. You've already saw it like 100 times earlier in the beginning of the episode, which Perry has to edit and put it on there a bunch of times. So you got to make it work. That. But yeah, call that number, 859-428-8253. We'll play your message. We'll reply to it. You're on the podcast. That's it. Do we have anything? Oh, something with Patreon? Do we have something with Patreon?
Now, look, I understand you can't sustain it forever. We did have a couple of patrons that left this week, which I'm not shaming you. I understand. But don't leave the Patreon.
It's my fault.
It's your fault. What'd you do?
Yeah. They're from Cincinnati, I think.
Great.
Great. I know all the stuff I was saying about the Bengals, the Cincinnati Bengals, was Yeah, it was for fun, part serious. But I think a lot of the Patreon members were probably Bengals fans, and they read what I wrote on Facebook, and they got mad. And then they also got mad because they like Taco Bell. I'm sorry, I don't like Taco Bell. It ruined my family's dinner one night, and you know what? I fucking hold a grudge against them for it. And they've not made it up to me since then. So I will continue to hate them. And I'm pretty sure a couple of people that left were on the Chalupa Facebook group that I was once part of and then left. I recognize some names. I'm sorry that I don't promote buying chalupas on the secondary market. I will call you out on it. I will blast you on the internet if you overpay for chalupas. That's just how it is. This day and age, we should band together as a family and take down anybody. We should take down anybody who sells overpriced chalupas. I'm just sorry. I'm sorry. That's just my thoughts right now. So I think some of those people were part of the chalupa groups, and they didn't like what I was saying and promoting. But I do love to share my whiskey with my friends. I don't know if I like Taco Bell with friends, because I don't like Taco Bell right now.
What's it going to take for you to ever come back around to Taco Bell?
Starvation.
All right. Well,
yeah.
Let's hope it never comes to that.
If that's the only thing I have a choice between living or dying, I might take a chance on Taco Bell.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first. Sorry, Taco Bell. I don't know where to go from there. Thanks everybody for listening.
Send us home.
This has been a weird episode.
It's been a wild episode.
We've
been different locations. People have called, and we've talked about tons of stuff.
Yeah. So, I guess that does it. See you guys next week. Until next time, I'm Perry.
I'm Eric.
And this is my bourbon podcast that might get swept away in the gigantic winds and the storm of the century.